The mystical art of inner transformation, spiritual alchemy beckons the seeker to embark upon a remarkable journey of self-discovery and enlightenment. It is a metaphysical tapestry woven with the threads of ancient wisdom and esoteric knowledge, inviting us to transmute the base elements of our being into the radiant gold of spiritual awakening. Unlike its alchemical forebear, concerned with transmuting base metals into gold, spiritual alchemy seeks a more precious transmutation, a metamorphosis of consciousness. It is the quest for transcendence, the awakening to the boundless wonder of existence, and the communion with the ineffable. Climbing the ladder of spiritual alchemy crosses 7 stages. Stages which draw upon the principles of traditional alchemy but are applied to the inner, spiritual realm. By embarking on this path, you will witness a heightened sense of interconnectedness with all of existence. The first, calcination, is the crucible of reckoning on this transformative journey, symbolizing a profound process of inner purification and dissolution. It is the alchemical process of burning away what no longer serves you, be it thought patterns, relationships, or worldly attachments, heralding the dawn of rebirth. The calcination process involves a sense of humility. As your ego is broken down, you become more open to receiving higher wisdom and guidance. Calcination unveils the tempestuous fires that reduce the ego and its illusions to ashes. In this incendiary crucible, you confront the darkest recesses of self, the chimerical shadows that shroud your authenticity. By facing your own limitations, fears, and illusions, calcination sets the foundation for further stages of inner transformation and enlightenment. It is the alchemical fire that initiates the process of turning the base elements of the self into something more refined and spiritually elevated. An uncharted voyage into the depths of the soul's inner sanctum. In the dissolution process, the seeker treads the waters of transformation, guided by the gentle currents of detachment. In this stage, you learn to pierce through the veils of illusion, recognizing the transient nature of material reality. The ephemeral illusions that once ensnared the mind are unraveled, revealing the ever-changing nature of the world. Emotions rise to the surface like waves in a turbulent sea, as unresolved feelings and emotional baggage demand acknowledgement and release. It is a cathartic process, a sacred cleansing of the emotional body, and a dance of surrender, a surrendering of the ego's desperate grasp on control, and a relinquishing of worldly desires. Yet, dissolution is not solely a process of letting go. It is also a voyage of discovery, a revelation of interconnectedness. As attachments dissolve, the boundaries between the self and the cosmos blur, and a sense of unity with all living beings and the universe emerges. The dissolution of egoic constructs gives rise to a new way of seeing, a new way of being. After dissolution, clarity and discernment come during separation. Separation beckons you to discern, to differentiate the essential from the non-essential, and to fathom the meaningful implications of this divine act. Akin to the refining of precious metals, the separation stage sees the seeker carefully sifting through the alloys of identity, purifying the essence within. It is a process that necessitates your patience and discernment, an artful endeavor that culminates in a greater sense of self-awareness. You'll recognize the myriad attachments and identities that have long entwined your essence. These threads of attachment are not severed in haste but gently examined, woven, and rewoven, discerning their true nature. The seeker becomes a master of distinctions, discerning between the ephemeral and the eternal, the superficial and the profound. It is an unveiling of the veils that have obscured higher truths, a peeling away of layers to reveal the core of authenticity. In conjunction, fragmented pieces of existence coalesce into a harmonious symphony, unveiling the interplay of opposites. This process beckons you to embrace the reconciliation of polarities, the sacred marriage of the inner king and queen. It is a stage where masculine and feminine energies within the psyche find their equilibrium, not as opposing forces, but as complementary aspects of the self. This union is not merely symbolic but a living, breathing embodiment of the alchemical process. The king represents the rational, logical, and conscious aspects of the self, while the queen embodies the intuitive, emotional, and unconscious dimensions. Their union transcends gender and becomes an archetype of inner harmony. As these energies align and merge, the seeker experiences a rich sense of wholeness. In this stage, you unveil the sacred dance of existence, the interplay of dualities that shape our world. It is an epic realization that unity arises not in spite of differences, but through their harmonious convergence. Likened to the fermenting of substances, resulting in the emergence of something new and more refined, the fermentation stage represents the birth of the enlightened self. It is a phase of spiritual rebirth and illumination. Fermentation is the stage of spiritual ripening, where your consciousness matures and deepens like the aging of fine wine. A process where the rough edges are smoothed and the flavors become more complex. The seeker's soul is refined, and your understanding of spiritual truths becomes richer and more nuanced. Understanding of the mysteries of existence expand to new dimensions. In this sacred fermentation, you undergo a metamorphosis, a transmutation of consciousness that aligns you more closely with the divine and the eternal. Akin to the purification of precious metals in the alchemical laboratory, the distillation stage is where the seeker's consciousness is distilled to its essence. It is now when you become a vessel for the distilled wisdom of the ages, an alchemical elixir of enlightenment. Having ventured deep into the unconscious during the fermentation stage, you now emerge with profound insights and heightened awareness. Distillation allows the seeker to separate the spiritual essence from the impurities of the ego, bringing clarity and purity to their perception. Distillation is symbolized by the process of separating and purifying substances through heat and condensation, where the impurities are left behind, and the essence is collected in its purest form. Similarly, the seeker's consciousness is distilled, leaving behind the dross of egoic attachments and illusions, replacing them with spiritual insight and wisdom. The seventh and final enigmatic stage, coagulation, is a union of the seeker's inner and outer worlds, where the inner transformation finds its ultimate realization. Here, you embody the culmination of your spiritual journey, transcending the boundaries of the self to merge with the cosmic dance of existence. In this coagulation, the seeker becomes a living embodiment of unity, a bridge between the finite and the infinite, the individual and the universal. It is a process of transcendence, like the philosopher's stone that transmutes the base into the noble, the mundane into the sacred. The ego, having been dissolved, purified, and distilled, now takes its rightful place in the grand tapestry of existence, a humble servant rather than a dominant force. As your consciousness coagulates, you become a vessel for the divine light, a radiant beacon of wisdom and compassion. It is a state of total serenity, where you are no longer driven by desires or attachments, but live in alignment with the natural order of the universe. This video is part of our Empowering Esotericism series. If you want to discover the real meaning of dreams, how to harness the power of as above, so below, or how to use the I Ching, explore the playlist. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please share, subscribe and click the notification bell. We love to hear your comments too, so let us know if you plan to follow the 7-step journey of spiritual alchemy. Remember to always live well and live abundantly.